Tribes Most High, my Niji. I'm just gonna make a very short little video because it's something's been kind of just nagging at me a little bit. But before I get into what's been nagging me, alright, so to all of my subscribers, thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you're new to my channel, do subscribe, like, and share my video. Alright, I appreciate all of y'all. Now let me get into this. So it's been kind of nagging at me when it comes to when that FEMA representative said we are in a live exercise, okay? You know, and of course I watched this on Dane's documentary he dropped a few days ago, and of course, you know, what Con Drop was dropping a few days ago as well. Well, actually a couple days ago. And something just hasn't been sitting right with me since he said a live exercise. Now, as we all know, Dane broke it down to it could be a live training. But then I thought about it, and there's always, they do everything in threes. So I was thinking that perhaps there's a third meaning to what he meant by live exercise. Because it would have made more sense if this was a training, then he would have said we are in a live trial exercise or some kind of a live trial. That would have made more sense that it was training or practice. But the way he said it, we are in a live exercise, that tells me that they've been preparing for this for a decade or more, obviously. They've already tested how people will respond 11 years ago. You know, they've already tested this. So to say we're in a live exercise, that tells me that they've been practicing this exercise in a simulation. Now, mind you, they already did a simulation in 2018. Bill Gates and a few other 1% people, you know, in New York City. They already did a simulation. So now to say we're in a live exercise, that tells me this is not an exercise. This is what they've been practicing. Now it's live. Now it's no longer virtual reality training. Now it's not training. Now it's live. This exercise that they've been leading up to is now officially live, which means they've already started it. They pressed the button, in a sense, on go. When he declared a national emergency, that was the start to their live exercise. They put this simulation, it's now a live simulation. It's now not training anymore. It's live. That is what he meant. Because it's been nagging at me for days. And I just couldn't quite figure out why it's been nagging at me. And that's why. When he said a live exercise, he literally just meant it's live. The exercise that they've been practicing, simulating, it's live now. Now it's all hands on deck. This is a go. This is not practice. This is not training. This is live. The key word, live. This is real time. That is all that means. A live exercise is real time. What they simulated was a simulation. Now it's a live exercise. This is real time. They set it off in Wuhan, China, and everything else followed with that with their whole 5G. Obviously, that's what it is. 5G is COVID-19, aka coronavirus. It is the same thing. There is no difference. But you have to understand, when he said live exercise, he just meant this is now officially being done outside of a simulation. Now it's being done in real time. Okay, now there's real deaths, there's real consequences, there's real everything. And it's a good chance They may have underestimated their very own little technology. And now they can't turn it off now because, well, that's why they keep coming up with these new bills, these new acts, these new types of legislation to protect it, because they know they done fucked up. You can't turn it off now, because you turn it off now, people, the masses will realize they turn it off and things, stop fucking with the hybrids and everything else. They're going to put two and two together, and then they're going to have a nice little revolt. So they're not going to turn it off. They know they can't do it. That's why it's live now. That's why they're bringing in tanks. That's why they're doing these mandatory quarantined, stay at home, stay in place orders throughout the nation and throughout the countries. Okay? It'd be different if this was only happening in one state or one country. But because this is happening nationally, worldwide, that's not a training. That's not a training exercise at all. This is live. This is real time. That is what that is. So it makes a hell of a lot more sense to say that this is a real time plot. I mean, it's done. Like they press the button, so to speak. They press go. So now they're just waiting for whatever shoe is about to drop. And anyone who is pretty aware of this information, we already know what shoe they're waiting for to drop. Okay? Because like I said, if you are natural by law, this is not going to affect you. This whole 5G, microwaved electrification of the air, it's not going to affect you. The hybrid's the one that's affecting. Now, we already know the New World Order has nothing to do with any of the hybrids. This has to do with the actual melanated, brown-skinned royals. Okay, this has all to do with them. This is their mark. This is their whole agenda. Their New World Order does not include the hybrid. They about to come out of hiding. They're opening up that iron curtain. They're about to step back into the forefront. I can feel it. It's just everything that's been going on. Now, Pope Francis, now we know he's not the real Pope, okay? Well, he's just a puppet. But they've had a puppet step down, denounce his title as Pope, okay? And use his real name, okay? So you just have to look at what's going on. They are telling their puppets, the puppet show is over. That is what they're doing. The puppet show's over. In other words, their need is no longer required. They've already got what they're going to have in place. So now they're just telling them, you can go ahead and go on now. Go on. Think about it. You got a pope stepping down from a puppet pope stepping down from his position, denouncing his title. He's everything. They're slowly phasing out their puppet man, their little puppeteers, okay? Their puppeteers is all of the people who you see as high dignitaries, okay? Germany's prime minister. England, you got the false prince, fake Prince Charles, quarantining himself. He's going into hiding. Germany's prime minister going into hiding, quarantining herself. You got all of these high-ranking dignitaries going into hiding. They're being told, go and run to your little bunker. It may prolong your life, but it's not going to protect you completely. Now, all the CEOs of these companies are stepping down from their high $1 million, year jobs, $1 million a year jobs, okay? They are all stepping down and going into hiding. They're taking what little money they've got and hiding, okay? Walmart, from what I heard from one of the employees at Waffle House where I get my breakfast every morning. Walmart has told a lot of their employees that they no longer need them. And when I say that, they have been doing a buyout of their employees, paying them for the rest of what they would have been paid for the rest of the year. Okay? That's Walmart. Waffle House has already closed so far over 1,300 of their restaurants. They've cut wages, took bonuses away, cut hours on the remaining Waffle House restaurants that are still open. Think about this. Nissan, a huge automotive manufacturer, has closed its doors. It was supposed to reopen April 6th. Now it's being pushed back to April 29th. It's going to get pushed back again. Okay? They're going to keep pushing this back until they just can't push it back anymore, until they finally going to have to say it's done, no money, it's broke, the system's done, and they're just going to go in hiding and then let the pandemonium unfold. Hence why they are doing martial law, because they know once this information completely erupts to the top, all hell is going to break loose. Okay, you don't just the military as far as the reserves. You don't bring in tanks unless you're getting ready for a war and to kind of, contain a situation that they know is about to erupt. And they know damn well they high-ranking CEOs can't protect themselves, so they running scared, going to their bunkers, because the whole system is done. We are out of captivity. So they're getting ready for the Creator to start sending his seraphims, okay? They're getting ready for a war against the Creator. So they're worrying about that. Then they have to worry about the people revolting. And this is all countries, okay? It's all one system. Contrary to what you believe, it's all one system. So let's get that out of your head. It's all one system. It's all connected. There is no real divisions between them. They all are one system. One currency, different names, same currency, one system. So that should be pretty apparent to you by now, okay? So, like I said, when he said live exercise, that means this is real time. It's no longer training. Because when something goes live, it's literally that. It's live. Like if I was to go live on YouTube right now, it's going to be live. It's not a practice run. It's not like I can pre-record this and, then do it. That's not live. That's pre-recorded. That's rehearsing, okay? Rehearsal is rehearsal. But when you go live, you are literally that, live. They said a live exercise, okay? Because other than that, he would say we're in an exercise, not a live exercise. That changes the whole dynamics of what that means. That just means real time. It's done. I mean, it's already written biblically of what's going on today, right now. And it's not just over here in the promised lands. This is happening worldwide. The whole world is seeing the crumbling of their societies crumble brick by brick, foundation by foundation, until there's nothing left but total collapse. And I'm just waiting for it to collapse. I'm just sitting back waiting for the pandemonium to fully unfold. And at the rate it's going, we ain't gonna have to wait too long, because they're destabilizing really fast. So, but I just had to, come forth and kind of just, say what was nagging me a little bit. But it makes more sense for him to say we're in a live exercise, which this code word, we're in real time. So when Trump said you should have told us, I think he was under the impression it was a practice run. And when he said live exercise, he already knew what that meant. That meant, oh shit, this ain't a practice run. This is, oh fuck, this is not what you told me. Now I know. That's what he meant by you should have told us. Of course he knew about the simulations. Of course he knew about that. But when that man mentioned we are in a live exercise, and then Trump in the background saying you should have told us, that makes more sense. He wouldn't have said that if he knew, if he thought it was just a practice run, a trial run. He wouldn't have said that. You only say you should have told us immediately after he said live exercise. That's a, wait, what? That you should have told us. That's his way of saying, I thought this was a practice run. No, bruh, this ain't a practice run. This is all hands, real time. This is active, okay? This is, the simulations have been done. They already did that. Now this is action. This production is a go. Like, they are pressing play and it's live. So they are seeing what happens and they going with it. So they just preparing for any potential, roadblocks that could block it, or, throw a monkey wrench into their plans, like people revolting, possibly. They want to protect these 5G because they already know people are going to figure out, the masses will figure out fully that the 5G and COVID-19 are one and the same. Okay? What happens when people figure out you're using an actual weapon against them? They're not going to take that very lightly. They're going to revolt. So what do? When you already know an impending inevitability that you are going to lose absolute control over the population when they put 2 and 2 together. You're going to put military in place to protect your server, your technology, your frequency. In this case, your 5G towers, the amplifiers, everything. You're going to put military in strategic, mark my words, strategic placement in the close proximity of their 5G networks, okay? Think about it. Look at where the military is at, okay? They're putting them active. It's supposed to be over 100,000, 200,000, whatever. Over 100,000 in just a few states. It's way more than that. Just because they say, oh, it's way more than that. They already know it's going to be way more than that. So they're going to put the military in the places where the main hubs are at. Not so much where the little amplifier, because they're high on a pole. It's really hard to get to those. But the main hubs, on the other hand, those are the powerhouses for them. So those they're going to protect. Okay? So you have to understand this. This is their last Hail Mary. This is their last flag in the battle. Okay? And I mean the real royals. I ain't talking about the puppets. The puppets just follow orders. But they're telling them to go ahead and go into hiding. Step down from your positions. Go into hiding. Because they already know what's about to happen. So they're going to protect their little 1% as best as they can. And the best way to do that is to claim quarantine, slowly and silently disappear. Okay? That is what they're doing. Because, one, they have to protect themselves because they're low-frequency beings to begin with. So, once you figure that out, everything makes more sense. So when he said this is a live exercise, he meant this is now in real time. This is not a practice. This is not a training. This is real time. So, mark my words. They gonna continue to push this back further and further back until they just can't push it back anymore. Because, you know, you can't keep something a secret for too much longer, because eventually what's done in the dark always comes to the light. So, you know, this is all my Niji. And if you're a hybrid, well, only thing I can tell you, you're not natural to begin with. But, you know, this is targeting you specifically, because the New World Order doesn't include any of the hybrids. Hybrids can't be trusted. Even the ancient, the real melanated royals, who are our real enemies, even though y'all can't be trusted. So, like in Dane's video, that scientist says extermination of a species. What species can be exterminated by this? Not a natural being, not a natural species, but an unnatural species can be exterminated with this. Just listen, watch Dane's video again. And that doctor said it's the extermination of a species. He knows what species can be exterminated. It's his species and the other two hybrids just like him. This frequency disrupts the low frequency of all of the hybrids. Quite literally. So, this is an extermination of them. Everything else goes and falls for the melanated royals to go after us, to try to take us out because they want their independence from us. But they're going to exterminate the hybrid first. They know what's coming. Their reign is officially done. But anyway, just want to come through with that. What was nagging me. Try most hot, my Niji.